Hello everybody, today I'm going to show you my Clevertronics single 9-watt LED Beer L10 emergency batten, okay? Now I did have a video of this up, but I'm actually going to be replacing it, okay? The reason is because the video I made wasn't very accurate. Okay, so we're going to be updating that with this video, okay? So this is a Clevertronics batten, of course. This is an L10 Optimum batten. Like, I've had this batten for probably about 7 years now, I guess. Okay, it's a very good batten. And this was actually the first emergency batten that I ever bought, and also my first emergency light. Okay, so now this batten here has received a lot of changes over the years, okay, and I'll explain them to you. Okay, when I bought this originally, it was originally the economy nickel cad range, okay, but that range was discontinued in 2017. So since then, I couldn't get replacement batteries for it anymore, and also it was a fluorescent emergency light, and that was old technology. So what I did was I upgraded it to an L10 Optimum with a lithium nanophosphate, okay, which is top of the range by Clevertronics, and it's also the longest lasting battery. Okay, and the L10 is the top of the range, okay, it's all good, and it's expensive too, okay. So I'll show you around this batten here. So all of Clevertronics battens now have the emergency light on the end of them. Okay, they have this end cap on them with the emergency light built into it. Okay, on the older ones, the tube used to be the emergency light, but it's not anymore. Okay, the tube is just a standard 240-volt lamp. So now the tube doesn't light up anymore when the power fails. Okay, instead you got this that turns on. Okay, and this is an LED light, of course. This is basically a life light fitting which has been built into the end cap here. So they took the life light and just made the end cap, and they took the LED assembly from their life light and put it in here to make it into this. Okay, so it's basically a batten combined with a life light. Okay, so this is a single, but you can get them in a double as well. Okay, there is also weatherproof versions available too. Okay, now this one here, like I said, it was the first emergency batten I ever owned, okay, and it was originally fluorescent, okay, and when I got it, it was originally electronically ballasted, but I converted it to magnetic at a later stage, okay, and then later, after the nickel cad range was discontinued, I actually painted this up and made it into a rocket batten where I had feet, legs on here, had an antenna coming up the top there, there was brown, I painted the ends orange, okay. But after that, a few years of that, I decided to scrap that and just convert it back into an emergency batten again. So I purchased this and the inverter, and then we converted it to L10. Okay, so if you do have the old economy and you want to upgrade it to an L10 or LP, you can. You got to purchase, but be aware there's two things that you need to purchase. You got to purchase the emergency end cap and the inverter to convert it. Okay. Now, when I did convert this, it did have Clever Test Plus, but I took that out and put it in one of the battens out in the kitchen. So this one here, I put the old inverter that came out of that batten in here. So it's got the old manual testing system. But okay, so the test that you just push the button here, and then that comes on. Okay. Now the battery for this is not inside the body of the batten. It's actually inside here. Okay, so these plugs come out, one of them's missing, so you undo these two plugs and this cover drops down and then you can get to the battery. Okay, so you can get to the battery in there. Okay, so here's the emergency light source right here. As you can see, it's a single cool white 3-watt LED, so this is basically the same as what the L10 life light used. Well, they've redesigned it now, they've changed it, okay. So what you do to test it, you just simply press the button, of course the LED comes on, okay. Now, this is the standard lamp source. It's just a single 9-watt LED tube, okay, which is made by SAL. Okay, so this one's cool white, of course. To turn the tube on, you just simply flick the switch, okay, and the tube comes on. Okay, now this is this batten here is a combined non-maintained function. So what that means is that when there's power, you can use the tube, okay, like what I'm using now. But this emergency LED does not come on, okay. At all times that remains off. The only time it comes on is if the power fails, okay? So I can press the button and it comes on, okay? But in order for it to come on is when the power fails, okay? So that's what it is, combined, non-maintained, or sustained. Okay, now I should mention that when I got this originally, I did originally have a fixed cord on it, but I converted it to accept a removable cord just because it's easy. And of course we've got the switch on it, okay? So this is the the back of the batten right here, we've got these two wooden feet on here there just to stabilise it. This Velcro on here is for the wall because I keep this on the wall and that's just to lock it in place. Okay. Okay, so the plate is held on by this little screw cap, and of course this does have a starter, but it's a concealed starter, so the starter's sealed up inside the chassis. Okay, it's down here, I believe. Let me just check here. Yep, the starter's underneath the plate right here, so to get to it you just simply unscrew this cap, and then the plate comes off, and then you can get to the starter inside. Okay. And once again, the inverter's inside here as well. Now this batten here has no ballast, okay, because it's LED only. Okay, that's why I got the sticker on there. Okay, so you can't run a fluorescent in it. I used to be able to, but I don't now. It's LED only. Okay. Now if you take a look in the end cap, this is where the battery is mounted. The battery is actually zip tied in there. Okay, it's an L10 lithium nanophosphate, and it will last. The battery will last for about 5 hours before it goes completely flat. Okay, now the part number for this batten is LBS 19S. Okay, I should really change that. That's the old part number for when it was fluorescent. I should really update that to 19S because it's 9-watt LED. Okay, and of course I upgraded this to L10 back in 2018. So 2 years ago. This has been in service for 2 years as this L10 configuration. Now when I bought the end cap, it didn't come with a sticker, so I made one. Okay, as you can see there, I put the company name on it, the range, and of course the classification. Okay, and this is the end of it. As you can see, it's still got the hole in there for when I had the... No, well actually I had the cord going in through this end of the batten, okay? But there's still got the hole in the top there. Okay, I think this end here I took off and up I got... Because when I purchased that, it came with an end on it because the end has holes, extra holes. Okay, now that extra hole you see there was from where the screw was for when I had the feet, and the old test button and everything was actually here, but I drilled that out and put this in it. Okay, and the lamp holders here are a special type. Okay, you actually have to order these from the Clevertronics. Okay, you can't use the HPM 380s on it because they won't fit on this batten. Okay, so I guess we'll take the batten apart and we'll show you what's inside. So we'll take out the tube. Okay. Unscrew this, you turn it anti-clockwise to unscrew it. Okay, then that comes off. Then what you do is you depress this trigger on the lamp holder, and then you can lift the plate up and off. Okay, and here's what's inside. Okay, so here we have our inverter right here. This is an L10 Lifelite inverter, of course. It did have Clever Test Plus, but it doesn't now. Okay, it's the part number for this is just our Life C kit, so that's what the part number. So here we have the wire that goes into the emergency light itself. We have the extra holes in the end there. So this wire here connects to the battery. Okay, you can see that's connecting to the battery and that's connecting to the lamp. So that's our inverter there. Now there is no ballast in here. There used to be, but there isn't anymore. Okay. Here we have our power in line, which is here. Okay, we got the brown, which is the live. We got the blue, which is the neutral, and we got the green, which is the earth. I'm going to unplug this for a minute, okay, so I can fix this duct tape up. I like to turn it disconnect it before I touch that part, okay, just to be safe. Now, of course, disconnecting the power is going to make that come on, of course. I'll plug it back in. Not very easy to do one-handed, I'm sorry. Yeah, there we go. It's not very easy to do when you've got one-handed, okay. So that plugs in, now there's power, so it's gone back off again. This here is the part that retains the plate. So when you put the plate on, you put your cap on there and that holds the plate down. We have our terminal block here, okay. There's 3 terminals, okay, so we got, this did have 4 terminals originally, but it's got just 3 now. And here's the original sticker. It's still got the original part number on there. I should really change that. And this batten was made in Australia, of course. And of course, here's the starter. Okay, once again, it's concealed. The older Clevertronics battens did have a bored out plate where there was a hole here. On these newer ones, it's concealed. Okay, so that's our starter there. And that just tells you what type you need to use. Okay, you can use any type of LED starter, type A. So that's basically all that's inside the body of the batten. So now we'll put it back together. So to put it back together, you simply put the plate back on. Oop, line it up, and you push it down until the part there clips into place. You get the cap, screw it on. Okay, and we'll get our tube. Let me slide it in. Okay, now with these Type A LED tubes, it doesn't matter which way you put them in, but I like to put them in a certain way. Okay, and then once you've done that, the batten's all back together and ready to go. Okay, so that's a pretty cool batten. Okay, and once again, we've got the LED lamp here. I'll turn the tube on, and we'll turn this on. Okay, so that's what they look like together. Okay, now that LED, you can see it's very small, okay, but it's very bright. Okay, it's pretty bright. Okay, it's a very small LED. Okay. Okay, so that is my Clevertronics single 9 watt LED L10 batten. So I hope you enjoyed, and that'll be it.